Could the Microsoft servers be infected? Hi everyone, Leo Notenboom here for askleo.com. I've got a lengthy question on the companion article page for this video, but just to summarize, an individual helped someone recover an email account, a hotmail.com account as it turns out, and immediately upon getting access to the account again, the account became infected again. The account access was lost. The question was, could it be something on the Microsoft servers themselves that was somehow being compromised or somehow leading to the accounts on that server being compromised? The answer here is no, absolutely not. And I know I get a lot of protestations from people saying, no, it wasn't me. It's got to be something about the servers, about Microsoft, or whatever other service they happen to be using. It's their fault, not mine. Every single time, it's not been their fault. It has not been an issue on the server. So one of the things I think we really need to understand here is that mail servers aren't like you and I, right? They're not software. They're not programs that you and I normally run. They are software that is dedicated towards managing massive amounts of email for massive numbers of email accounts. It's not like running Microsoft Outlook or from Microsoft Office. It's not like running Thunderbird. It's a whole other order of magnitude, actually several orders of magnitude larger. What that means, though, is that software is very custom. It is running on servers in dedicated data centers that are access controlled, that individuals can't just walk up to. You have to be, certainly approved to be able to do something with the hardware or even access what's going on. The level of administration that they provide to the server owners is not something that's visible to you and me on the internet. They are a huge, huge target, but they don't get breached. And the reason they don't get breached, of course, is that Microsoft knows that these are a huge, huge target. And in reality, they've got so much security in place that it is nigh on impossible. Never say impossible, I get that, but it is nigh on impossible to actually breach the Microsoft mail servers. Now, the thing is, hackers know this. They do. They know this. That is really, really hard. They might get some hacking points, if there is such a thing, but the bottom line is that that's a lot of effort on their part, and honestly, for a few email accounts, it's probably not worth it. There are easier ways for them to hack your account. Those are things like passwords. Your password was somehow compromised. They were able to log into your account, not by hacking the Microsoft servers, but simply by having access to your account, by having gotten the password somehow, be it in a data breach or keylogger on your machine or something else. That is 99% of how individual accounts get compromised. Data breaches, keyloggers, and I also have to say, phishing attempts. Phishing attempts are probably the biggest cause of account compromise today because we're actually doing such a good job. Data breaches, technically, they are the service being hacked. I've never actually heard of a data breach at a Microsoft email server or a Gmail or a Yahoo or any of those. Normally, if hackers are going after breaches, they're going after financial institutions or other more high-value targets. The way that email accounts get breached these days is through your password having been made available. It could involve malware. Like I said, one of the possibilities, of course, is malware on your machine that is, say, a keylogger or is somehow recording or intercepting the keystrokes so that they can then record your password and then go off and use it and log into your account. Even after you recover your account, if that malware is still present on your machine, then they can turn right around and hack back into it because they get your new password the next time you type it in. Obviously, make sure your machine is clear of malware. The other one, and this is somewhat frustrating, because it's become such a common mantra among security professionals and tech support people such as myself, and yet people are still doing it. How do they get your password for this account? By getting your password for another account and finding out that you reused it. By that I mean you've got some completely unrelated account. It's unrelated to your email. It's nothing. It's not important. So you use a password on that account, but it happens to be the same password that you use for your email. Now that other service gets compromised. They get hacked. The hackers come in and slurp up all the passwords. What do? They run around and try those passwords at all of the different services, and sure enough, they find out that it works at your email because you reused the password. That's a simple one. Don't do that. That's why we keep saying use a unique password for every site, every login, because that way any kind of vulnerability for some other site isn't going to affect a more important site or the other sites that you really do care about. Unique, long, strong password for every account. And of course, two-factor authentication. That way, even when they have the password, they can't necessarily log in. And finally, there is one last scenario. It might not be you at all. There might be nothing involved that you are related to. And that is simply this. If you're getting spam, the from email address has nothing to do with who sent it. So if people are getting spam that looks like it came from you, it probably wasn't. It was probably the spammer just using your publicly available email address and making it look like the email came from there. There's no malware, there's no breach, there's no nothing. It's just spam. I've got articles on that. Someone sending from my email address, how do I stop them, is one of the articles that discusses this topic that I know confuses a lot of people, because how can somebody make email look like it came from me if they haven't breached my account? If they don't have they don't need access to your account. Anybody can do it. It's a very trivial side effect of exactly how the email protocols work. So when you find yourself in this situation, don't jump to the conclusion that the service itself has been hacked. You're probably wrong. You're almost certainly wrong. And jumping to that conclusion will prevent you from actually tracking down what really happened. And that means you need to review your own security measures. Make sure you've got proper passwords. Make sure you've got unique passwords for every site. Make sure you're using two-factor authentication if you can. Scan your machines for malware regularly if you're not doing that already. All of that stands a much higher chance of actually impacting your account's security than any kind of a breach at one of these major email providers like Microsoft. Hope that helps. For comments, for updates, for related links and more, visit askleo.com/2554. I'm Leo Notenboom, and this is askleo.com. Thanks for watching.